and I'm going to ask the chairman or on Water Activity Committee to come up and explain some of the intricacies and the whys and the what not to do on the on water, because this is an extraordinary event and you need to have a little bit of detail on that. So Ralph Richardson, who's chairing this committee, would you give us a little detail, please?
Well, it's pretty exciting. Things are coming into place right now, and I think the best way to do this, if we could ask you, okay, we got it up already. Well, this is what the race course looks like, and just to figure it out, the white areas, of course, are land, and you see Two Rock Passage just down here. I don't have a pointer, but just off to your left is where the race course itself is going to be, and you see it's just on the west side of Two Rock Passage. It's out into the Great Sound, but not very far. So some people have asked, well, why can't we take it further over so that people from Somerset could see it? Well, the race is going to be broadcast, as we know. But there's going to be something called an electronic course that the sailors will be racing to, and they're little transponders. And the race is where it is because of the distance, that it can't be any further because it won't be picked up. So that's why it's there. But I think the exciting thing for us was to discover that the race was actually, the second race on each day would finish in Hamilton. That extends the race course. It creates some interesting challenges for our team. One of the things that we have to remember is that it was just said that the boats are very fast. They're extremely fast. You may have heard our ad from the Water Safety Council talking about how fast these boats are. Imagine, Roger, that you're out in your center console and speeding along at 30 knots, and a sailboat just goes zoom by you like you're standing still. Well, that's what it's like. These boats are extremely fast, and they go from zero to fast very, very quickly. And most of us have never seen it. We haven't been in the water, and so what's really important is that we can't have a race course where somebody decides to take a quick nip across the channel. That's very dangerous, and that could be very disastrous. So we have to, our job is really to segregate the public from the race course itself. And so the race course out at you see out at the end, it has several viewing spots. These are for the spectator boats. There's going to be one section for VIP boats, and pretty much everywhere else around the course will be available to the boaters. And that's the job, that's our job. There will be, at the moment, we're looking like about 70 or 80 people involved, volunteers. But in all, there's going to be 140 official boats on that day. So we've got to try to segregate the public from the official boats. It's a really, really interesting challenge. And so it's very, very important that the marshals, which will be headed by Martin Seas, will be keeping boats and directing you. So when you come out to the boat, when you're registered, you'll have information. That's the good thing about registering, is that you'll get the information online. You'll get emails, and you'll be prepared for what's going to happen. So that you will see the marshals will say you have to go over there. And we know Bermudians are very polite and really willing to participate and be a part of it. And there's going to be no problems. But really, it's all about safety. If we ask you to go somewhere, it's important that you do it. That's critically important. We want you to be able to do that safely and enjoy the event safely. An interesting story that Tom was telling me in 1980-something, at the end of an America's Cup race, all the spectator boats decided to follow Dennis Conner in. And they did, because he was traveling at about 20 knots. Imagine 100 boats trying to get into Hamilton at 20 knots. Well, in that particular case, they caused so much wake that many boats were damaged and people actually were hurt. It caused injuries. So we are going to ask people at the end of the race not to follow everybody else, and follow the boats in at 35 knots. We want you to come in later on. So just be very careful about that. So that we have the race, it's completed now, and everybody comes into Hamilton. And there may be some that may decide to zip into Hamilton very quickly so they can see the finish. That's not going to happen. For the entire time the race is on, in fact, for the entire time from Friday afternoon, we're going to have a 5-knot no-wake zone. Now, just so that you know, this is for your safety and other people's safety. We've actually asked the police and the regiment to assist us in patrolling that, and you will be required, and legally they will be able to stop you. So we're going to ask you just to contribute, to participate, and to obey the rules, as it were. We also wanted to mention that there is a brief period that you may want to consider leaving out at the first race and go in at 5 knots so that you can get in. So maybe before the second race starts, you may want to slowly go in and take a position close to the finish line. But certainly, we're not going to encourage a lot of activity during the event. And of course, your wake is going to impact the others. One of the things that we've done, we put together 10 pods of marshals. Each one is going to have an official boat, like the police or the regiment. The regiment will definitely have one right with us. The police will be a little bit more flexible. And then there's going to be a jet ski. Well, first of all, there will be a volunteer. We've got several volunteers. Mike was referring to a group that showed up last week, and they were hearing all this for the first time. And they are the volunteers that will man the marshal boats. And so we have 2 or 3 people in each one of the volunteer boats that have participated. And then there's going to be a jet ski. Somebody said, why on earth are you going to have jet skis participating? Well, jet skis don't make a big wake. And if we need to get someone to a boat that's going to maybe go onto the course really quickly, we can get them out there and it doesn't really upset things. So that's the reason for that. So there's going to be 10 or maybe more pods. At the moment, we're looking at 10 pods of 3 that will marshal the area. We also have marine imports that are going to have 3 boats along with fisheries that are going to help in the harbor area. And so there's a lot going on at the same time. But we would like for you to register. That's the critical piece. People are going to say, well, I'm not going to go register. I don't have to. But you know, if you do, it's going to make things easier for us. Registering also helps us to know how many people are coming. If we need to bring on more marshal boats, we'll know that between now and the event because you're going to register. Remember that if you want to have a flag, if you're a 50-foot boat, you will automatically have a flag. All others will be able to register without any cost at all. So we're not asking you to pay any money. You just go onto the site, and then you can sign up. Okay?